Welcome to another podcast. Today we have with us Tomáš Zdechovský, member of the European Parliament from Czechia and the KDU CSL party. Welcome.
Thank you very much for your invitation.
Your party has Christian in its name. What kind of influence does Christianity have on the political views of the party?
Of course, the party was established by Catholic Church and Catholic Church priests 100 years ago, 104 years ago, and we have it here in our blood. Also, this is not only about the name, but we are supporting all the Christians' views in our work, and we are Christians Democrats. So this is what we are promoting, not only with the name of the party, but with things what we are doing.
Usually when people think about Czechia, they think about one of the world's most secular societies, but there is still some influence of Christian social teachings in Czechia, yes?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But listen, many people are not involved in the church, but they are still really very supporting the Christians' values. Also, they have it. They are very conservative. Many of the people out of the big cities are much more conservative than me, and they are promoting the traditional values and traditional things. So you cannot really compare how many people are involved in church and how many people are Christians, because I think that Christianity is much more popular in my country as in others where is much more bigger number of the members of the church in this view.
You recently had a vote in the European Parliament about the idea of changing the EU treaties. And of course, there is also the European Parliament election coming up in June, if I'm not mistaken. So what do you think will be the development of the European Union? Will they try to push more centralization or treaty changes before the election, or will it be work for after the election?
I think before election, no one will change the treaty. Also, I think it's not topic. It was used by some MEPs for promoting themselves and their idealistic or federalistic ideas, and they want now to send it to their voters that they are working on. But there are two things. One is institutional reform. We can do it now without any changes of treaty, and second is the changes of treaty, and it's need much more discussion, open discussion about the things, and especially for us, for Poland, for all the Visegrad countries, it's not something what we want to do, especially in these times, because if we will do it, we will give it to the hands of France, of German, and other countries from the West. Very important tools what they want to really press us in many issues. Also, I think that it's not necessary for us open this discussion.
And we can say here for our viewers that the vote was very narrow, but I think 290 votes were for continuing the work on treaty changes and 270 something were against. So it was very close, but the side that wants to change the treaties was a little bit bigger and won the vote.
Yeah, but there was a lot of people who abstain. Also, I think that it's really necessary see that it's not majority of the people who wants to change the treaty. And I think that really, especially in these times after the Wilders' victory in Netherlands, it will be very important have it much more sensitive discussion about these things.
You mentioned here the victory of Geert Wilders. It looks right now that he will take 37 seats in the Dutch parliament, a much bigger victory than expected. The biggest win, actually, for more than 2 decades in the Netherlands. And Mr. Wilders have been very strong in his in advancing Christianity, saying that Christianity is an important part of Europe, and naturally he is juxtaposing it against the immigration from the Muslim world. What do you think will be this clash? We can also see it now with these demonstrations going on in many capital cities in Western Europe, that simply a lot of the migrants that arrived in recent decades, they seem to not take Israel's side after the October 7th attack. And it seems like a lot of Europeans are slightly surprised. Do you think there is a coalition between different values with this migration ongoing here in Europe?
Yeah, the parties that are now fighting against illegal immigration, and this is very important, illegal immigration, non-control immigration, are growing up for security reasons. Because if you see the situation in Gaza Strip, if you see the situation in Ukraine and other parts of the world, you have it fear. And especially these people, what are now very dangerous for the Western society, are migrants what were established there in 60s, 70s, and what were not integrated in the major society. They are doing the ghettos, and they are really very close, and it's very difficult to integrate them to between other peoples. They are separating, they are voting others, they have it their special schools, special really law, how they behave and how the community is working. And the demonstration show us that really they are not part of the Western values or EU values, democratic values. They are supporting terrorists from Hamas. Many of them are supporting terrorists from Islamic State, and I think that it's really necessary to be very, very strict and to say that we have it our rules and our goals, and if the people don't want to integrate it to major society, they have to leave us. If you don't love us, leave us. I think it's absolutely clear, and this is what my grandfather saw in New York when he came there in 1912 also. This is something what is it essential for us.
Also, another vote that will probably take place in the European Union is about the new migration pact. And this is something that at least the political establishment in Brussels have said that they want to finish before the European elections. Do you think that this migration pact will be adopted by the EU? We can remind people that in 2015, when it was supposed to be about temporary migrant quotas, a couple of countries vetoed this idea. It was Czechia, it was Slovakia, it was Hungary. Initially, Poland said yes, but after a government change and the Law and Justice Party won, the new Polish government also said no. Will this Visegrad alliance, so to say, still try to veto this new migration pact?
The new migration pact is really something like mix all the things around the world, and it's mix of the naivety, idealism, and really socialist or leftist stupidity, and they are putting there the things what will grow up migration. We won't stop migration, illegal immigration. If more than 70% of the people what are coming to European Union are illegal migrants, they are not refugees. Also, we will now establish some law what will bring these people to another country, and we will call it the solidarity. But it's not solidarity, it's quotas. And I think that much more important is to have it really clear law what will say. In 5 days, we will check all the data what you are presenting us. If in 5 days we are not satisfied, we will send you back to your country. Sorry for that, but you are stupid that you pay to smugglers. Second things, what we will do, we will, everyone who will be illegal immigrant, say you are illegal immigrant, you cross the borders, also you cannot go to the European Union for next 10 years. It will be very strong signal for the smugglers and for all the people that you have to come legally. You have many ways how you can come. If some member states need immigration, they can give the permission and legal visas. If you don't have it, also it's your problem. And second things, and without them, it will be not function. Third things, it's really control or the border control. Also, border control must be smart and very intensive. Also, it's not necessary. It's very necessary that we have it, and we will intensify the border control in all the Europe. Four things, it's necessity if someone has it not right to stay here, we need to send him back. Also push all the people what are here illegal back. And last and not least things, what is it very important in the immigration package and what is not still included, that the systems are really connecting. Also, we will now push to third countries that they will have it all the documents with fingerprints, and we can establish connection between third countries with Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iran, Sri Lanka, India, and we will have it access to the data, and we will see if someone is really coming from the Bangladesh, we will have it data about him because fingerprints are better than passports. Also, if you have it access to fingerprints, then you can solve a lot of problems. And trust me, we will solve it. But we need strong politicians and not politicians. This is light beer. What are coming there? What are presenting the flags and saying blah 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 blah? It's enough. People don't want it to hear only blah 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 for 5 years. They are not doing there. Also, the Commissioner Johnson, what is responsible for immigration, she is from the Sweden, and look on the situation in Sweden. I think that Visegrad groups, you are focused for Ukraine and for Israel now and Hamas. But if you systematically look on the criminal situation in Sweden, you will be very surprised how really immigration is falling down and what they are doing. They're the criminals with Swedish passport.